Hi, this is Mark Terracone from Northeast Electrical Distributors. We're glad you can join us today. Today we have Andy Powers from our power team here to talk a little bit about networked motor control centers and the Rockwell Intellicenter solution. Take it away.
Thanks, Mark. As Mark mentioned, my name is Andy Powers. I'm the motor control center specialist for Northeast Electrical Distributors. And if you take a look at your screen here, I figured we'd take just a moment to review what a motor control center is. Basically, it's a structure with busing that allows you to combine motor controllers, PLCs, feeder breakers, all in a very reliable and flexible format, and allows you to make changes after the fact. But that's the basic idea behind an MCC. Rockwell Automation took that one step further by introducing the Intellicenter MCC, networking all of the individual devices within the MCC. We've got variable frequency drives, soft starts, across the line motor starters, all connected through Ethernet cables through a managed switch in the MCC to allow for upstream control and oversight via SCADA. Again, I just mentioned variable frequency drives, solid state overloads for across the line motor starters. With Rockwell, most of these devices already have Ethernet IP embedded right on the device, so we don't require any additional COM modules or black boxes to facilitate this communication. Rockwell uses managed switches, which are very robust and very safe in terms of, network protecting your network. There are a lot of nice features built into these switches to make sure that the network is safe. We've got DHCP persistence and some other features that really help to make the network secure. Now, the thing that really sets Rockwell apart from some of our competitors isn't so much the hardware, although we have a unique hardware solution for the Intellicenter. But the biggest part of this is the software in the integration portion of this. Rockwell has configured CAN software for motor control for the Intellicenter MCCs that can be run on a Logix platform. You don't have to, in the absence of this, you would literally have to hire an integrator to come up with a custom SCADA screen to visualize everything that's going on with that MCC. With Rockwell, included with, or basically included with the cost of the Intellicenter, you have again a visualization of the MCC. You've got the entire lineup there, a quick screenshot to show what's running, what isn't, if anything's tripped, if there's a problem. Then you can go to the monitor view, basically looking at any individual unit in the MCC to give a detailed breakdown of what's going on. Power, voltage, trip status, jammed, whatever the status is, whatever you need to know about that device, you get it right there. From an asset management perspective, all the documentation you could possibly need for that MCC, whether it be drive user VFD user manuals or the MCC itself, switch management, anything in programming, it's all contained within the software. One of the nicest things about the Intellicenter, the way this whole works, is that not only can you see what's going on right now, but it does a nice job of letting you see problems that are trending, moving towards the future. You can see if you've got a particular motor that's running hotter and consuming more power than it normally would. But allows you to sort of predict problems before you have a complete failure, because failures, well, failures are no fun, right? Also, with the energy monitoring feature, you can use the Intellicenter software to see where your peak demand and where your peak energy consumption is, when and where it's occurring, and compare that to your utility energy bill, and try to work around your usage of certain devices to prevent demand spikes and to and the corresponding bumps in your electric bill that come with demand spikes at improper times. The Intellicenter software also integrates very nicely into Rockwell Studio 5000 software, where basically all the work is done for you. You can import all the data from the Intellicenter, so from the data CDs with the Motor Control Center through the Intellicenter software, and all of that will populate right into RS Logix. All of your I/O points already tagged, all of the IP addresses already assigned. The user can request specific IP addresses ahead of time, or the factory can assign them for you. We generally prefer that the user select them ahead of time. Lastly, we get a nice, we'll take a look at your screen. We get a nice little graphic here. This kind of gives a nice visualization of how tying in your motor control centers, networking them in, ties it into the entire plant SCADA system, SCADA and control system, so you can monitor motors, motor controllers, feeders, all kinds of different devices throughout your plant. And that information is available over the internet from a secure IP address. You could get that information from anywhere. So I mean, you could be in your living room at home and check the status of a motor starter in an MCC on the other side of the planet. Let's see here. We've got. Long story short, as far as, I don't want to get too much into the topology, but they use a switch level linear star topology, which basically they use a lot of home runs as opposed to daisy chaining, which makes for a more robust infrastructure with fewer problems. Also makes it easier to add on to. Again, in terms of expandability, again, using this topology makes it easier to add on to. If you can add vertical sections onto the MCC and additional devices, usually we have some spare ports that we provide with the new Intellicenter anyway. But even if not, it's easy enough to add on additional sections and additional ports, additional switches. I mean, it's scalable, pretty much forever. This is a neat feature. It's not necessarily unique to Intellicenters, but it plays very nicely into Intellicenters, which is the automatic device configuration. I will play this this scenario here because this is kind of neat. Basically, we have 3 drives which have been configured, started up, and are running. One of the drives fails. You can drop in a brand new piece of hardware that has not been configured, spare drive right off the shelf. Right away, the switch identifies the drive there and assigns it the IP address that the old drive used to have. Once it is assigned an IP address, the PLC controller upstream is now downloading the configuration of the drive that was there previously. So all of the acceleration, deceleration, and any configuration that was part of that drive's initial startup is backed up onto the replacement drive. That'll save you. That's just a really nice feature, and it does integrate well into Intellicenter because it allows you to do that with a bank of devices very fluidly. Again, this is Andy Powers, the MCC specialist for Northeast Electrical Distributors, and thank you very much for your time. Take care now.